Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In the middle of the semester, I raised the topic of how an electronic to work. So, I raised the topic of how DC motor work. So, I will introduce myself. My name is Sandra Yori. I'm from class 2B, study program D3 Electrical Engineering, subject English Technique. First, definition of DC motor. DC electric motor or DC motor is a device that converts electrical energy into kinetic energy or motion. This DC motor can also be referred to as a direct current motor. As the name suggests, DC motor have two terminals and require direct current or DC to drive them. This DC electric motor is usually used in electronic and electrical devices that use a DC power source such as mobile phone vibrator, DC fans, and DC electric drills. DC motor. This motor produces a number of revolutions per minute, or usually known as RPM, revolution per minute, and can be made to rotate clockwise or counterclockwise if the electrical polarity given to the DC motor is reversed. Second, DC motor principle. In principle, a DC electric motor uses electromagnetic phenomena to move. When an electric current is applied to the coil, the surface the coil with its north will move toward the south pole of the magnet, and the coil with its south will move towards in the north of the magnet. At this time, because the north pole of the coil meets the south pole of the magnet, or south pole of the coil meets the north pole of the magnet, there will be mutual attraction, which causes the coil to stop moving. To move it again, just when the coil poles are facing the magnet pole, the direction of the current in the coil is reversed. Thus, the north pole of the coil will turn into a south pole and the south pole will turn into a north pole. When the pole change occurs, the south pole of the coil will face the south pole of the magnet, and the north pole of the coil will face the north pole of the magnet. Because the poles are the same, there will be repulsion so that the coil moves around until the north of the coil facing the south of the magnet, and the south of the coil facing the north of the magnet. And this time, this current flowing into the coil is reversed again, and the coil will rotate again due to a change in poles. This cycle will be repeated until the electric current in the coil is disconnected. And the last important point of DC motor definition is a device that converts electrical energy into kinetic energy or motion. And from the working principle, we can see that a DC motor can be used as a DC generator. Okay, only it I can say about DC motor from definition until work principle. Thank you for your attention and your participation. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.